Yes, I started
Good.
recording. That's why you start. Please.
Um, I've been teaching for the last 5 years for the secondary school children, and in the last 3 months, starting from 30th of April, when the pandemic has been announced in Tajikistan, things dramatically changed in terms of studying, in terms of schooling and learning, especially for the school children who learn English language. Uh, what I see from that time, the big challenging for the school children is to study in distance, and as well as for myself too. Adopting to the Moodle program, that was the first thing that I learned from this STEM training. So, and I see when I ask my school children, can we study online? I mean, 99% they were not, simply not ready for this, including the internet, laptop, phone, etc. And I really miss the face-to-face learning too. And we have started already the face-to-face learning in the class. Yesterday, my fourth class is already started. And yeah, what I can suggest, this learning needs in Tajikistan a big, what do you call it? Well, my son is right here. Say hello.
Yeah, good. Hi.
And yeah, we see a lot of challenge. First, internet, laptop, phones, and the suburb school children, they do not have, let's say, enough means to do that.
Yeah, like me right now. Yes.
As some of you has already mentioned that um, we might need some funding, probably from international organizations, from the U.S. Embassy, British Embassy, whatever. But time has changed. We need to adapt. We need to learn. We need to, come over the challenges.
Yes.
What do you think, Fred?
So
Yeah. I've mentioned a few problems of internet, laptops or phones, lack of interest to learn the distantly. You know,
Farhad mentioned that we don't have a not so good internet connection, but fortunately, I had this one when I was in Dushanbe. I connected to the very high-speed internet, and my experience with this new method of teaching from distance, it was very hard at the beginning because as now we have problem with connection. Yes, I couldn't connect all the pupils, all the students to my meeting.
Yeah, we lost.
By the time we solved this one, and the main thing which I used during this pandemic, this quarantine, Google Classroom, I used mostly, and Zoom. So here is I like Google Classroom. What in Google Classroom you can create register, you can create quiz topics, yeah, and you can send them presentation, PDF files, everything, any information which you wanted to send to them. It's very good resource. And for talking like making comparison, video comparison, I used this one, Zoom. As here is, it has what? Screen sharing. I like this one very, very high, because you can share your screen, you can explain to students everything. Even, for example, with year 10, we talked about making websites, web developing. So I showed to them how to develop, how to start, how to write codes, and they also can share, for example, their screen and show me, for example, some problems and quizzes with it. a lot of things like this. So with year 7, with year 8, just I explain it to them and send them quiz and tasks which through the Google Classroom, and they returned it back to me. So also there was some students who couldn't, for example, work on Google Classroom. Yes, on Google Classroom, they asked me to send through the Zoom. So, but it's very big problem if you are going to use both of them. For example, you can send to some of them in Google Classroom and to some of them using Zoom. For example, you will confuse, you will mix, you know. And like this problem also was with some of our colleagues, which they send this one through the Zoom and they mixed up everything because some students will be correctly do and send it, some of them will send after 2 days, and like this problems it was. So my suggestion in order to use in future, for example, for myself, if this pandemic will continue, I'm gonna use Google Classroom again. Google Classroom and some of the resources G Suite. And for conference, just this Zoom is okay for me. For example, 45 minutes, it's enough, I think. So what here is, and I asked Mr. Randall once about how we can organize the timekeeping. For example, he said, okay, here is, it shouldn't be teacher-centered classroom. Here it should be student-centered classroom. The students should discuss, students should be very active during the class time. So I hope in future I will to use these methods. So this is my words about online resources and using this one for my lesson. Thank you for your attention and your comments, please.
I'm just wondering, the very good saying. How about the student that you teach? Are they quite interested what they do?
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
because it was going to this condition that there was just words that it will be pandemic and it will be quarantine. Try to explain students, we try to learn them how to use these online resources. So during 2 weeks, I think, before the quarantine, we already explained everything, but some students, you know, not all of them are very active and interested. So they are very interested, you know. For example, in year 10, we have 7 students, but 6 of them always was online active. They did their best, but one of them, as now, for example, he was far from the cities and due the connection, internet connection, very bad connection, she couldn't. Was a girl, yeah. She couldn't participate to the lesson, but other students were very active. So who had with internet problems, they couldn't exactly, but who has internet connection, and we also was connected to their parents, and always we talked with them. You know, for example, some students, they just don't like to make lessons. That's why they didn't. They said, for example, okay, I don't have good connections. That's why I'm sorry, I cannot connect your lesson. So we would always connected to their parents and always said, for example, what's their problem, and we solved this one. For example, if from 100 we say about 92% students were active during this pandemic period in online lessons.
At least,
I think the internet connection is not good from home. So this is the problem that our students. This is the problem that our students as well. So this is the problem here in our context. And the internet connection, I think it's good if we shift to the sync learning. I think Moodle and G Suite is good. And when Zoe, when you talked about Zoom and the online teaching that you did, remind me of learning and actual online distance learning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, but with a lot of, you know.
Hello?
Noyo,
My voice
we
is
do.
breaking.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
your voice is breaking down quite a lot. I mean, your internet connection is quite bad, as far as I understand. Probably.
Yeah, okay, then you talk, I just listen to you.
I see the solution. If it's better to switch off your video, and at least you can speak. You know what I mean?
Okay, thank you. This is good. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, at least we can hear you. Yeah, we understand that the video issue is we don't see the solution at the moment, but at least we want to hear you, I guess. Do you guys agree?
Yes. Right.
Okay, mine is hearing me.
Yeah.
So I switch your video.
Mr. Noyop,
What
still your voice is
Zoe,
breaking down.
I ask you guys, did you watch Randall video about? Okay, then better you talk and I just listen.
Maybe we will do like this, I think. So, Miss Mahina?
So what about me? We have already been using distance education at the institute, at our Polytechnic Institute, for 5 years. I have been teaching for 4 years, but we have our own portal for Silavik TJ for distance education. But there are some few opportunities. There are not many functions as in Moodle. I like Moodle, and because we can in one time test students, already add some video materials and so on. And but nowadays I try to learn G Suite and some opportunities of Google Classroom. I try to use it for teaching IT and teaching my small girls for developing web pages. Nowadays, we are planning to start Mozilla Club for girls from 10 to 18. So I think Google Classroom will be a good instrument to educate them, to teach them, and but what now we try to use Zoom as an instrument for live sessions and video conferences, and that is nice. We have some mistakes, and but we are learning by that, and I'm very grateful. I'm very happy that we have this good opportunity to learn something new, to be in the progress of learning. So I think if from September we try to use all these instruments in real, because pandemic is not over now. Our students must be ready as well as we. So I think Google Classroom and Moodle instruments will be good for them.
Okay, I understood you. Okay, have you ever used Google Site?
Google what?
Google Site.
Google Site, yes. I used it some years ago for demonstrating that Google Site is a visual constructor for building web pages.
Yeah, it's good for visual.
It's It was some years ago, but I have to improve my skills.
Good. So, you know, I had experience with this Google site with my students. At them, I explained just how to develop, how to design with HTML, CSS, and what was JavaScript. And once I asked them to use Google site as it's better, they will not write the code, just they will construct the site with visualization. So one of the girls, she created a very interesting site. It was really interesting. So I asked her that, had you experienced it before? She said, no, just I heard from you that Google site has such opportunity, and I tried this one. I said, it's very good. Okay, we have 10 minutes.
Yes, I think content managed systems is a good instrument for beginners who want to learn web development. Probably I use WordPress, Drupal, Joomla, and so on. But students like online instruments like Google sites, and Mozilla company has an instrument named Eimdl. It's used HTML and CSS as well for building websites, web pages.
Okay.
So I demonstrated them for my students some years ago.
What about Sublime? Sublime text.
Sublime, it's nice when you know coding, when you know tags.
Yeah, tags. This one is good for that one. Yeah. All right. So here is we are two colleagues. Yes. With Miss Mahina, we are teaching IT. That's why we are talking more. You know.
If you have some questions, I'm ready to answer them.
No, I already asked my question. So, Mr. Farhod, have you any question to her?
Mr. Farhod can ask.
It was good to hear you guys, and it was quite informative that using these instruments, and I hopefully, and I wish I can use them as well in the future, because it's quite new to me, and I've never, you know, kind of imagined whether it's possible to teach online or distantly. But I see the world change, and we have to be ready for that.
Yeah,
and
it changed. It's
quite nice to hear that you have been doing this for a long time. And since the pandemic,
is the first step.
When I was asked, do you like to use Zoom? I said I never use Zoom, and I just 20 minutes ago I registered myself. So yeah, it seems interesting. It seems well up to date, but it is what it is. You know, we need to accept that. If you ask me frankly, do you like teaching online? But I think it should be, in terms of the classic face-to-face teaching. But yeah, even the generation, they are already adapted to this. And we are younger people, we need to be quite ready for that as well.
Don't be upset, Farhod. Today's meeting is the first step for learning all of this amount of information, amount of instruments for distance learning.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the first time that I have been recorded. When I used to work with my colleagues abroad, like China, the US, we do use this type of instrument, not, of course, not Moodle, something like that, but I would say we use quite a lot. I use personally Skype, which I really like it, but Zoom seems quite fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, I think we are going to finish here. So thank you everyone. So for your comments, for your words. So we will work on video, I think.
It's a pity we don't have Noyo.
Yes. It's because of the bad connection. And this one also could be explained, for us.
But he tries as he could.
Okay, using this video, we can also ask Mr. Peter and Mr. Randall, Mr. Tori, and Mr. John also how we can solve this kind of problems. Okay, thank you.
I was happy to meet you.
Yeah, me too.